Welcome to Up to the Minute. I'm Todd Duplantis. Good to have you with us. It is the 10th of June, the number 10 June. That's right. Glad to have you with us on the show on this Thursday. It's also Thursday Virtual Family Fun Day, and it's one of Brittany Pacheco's best or favorite days in the week because it's Friday Eve. Good morning, Brittany. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Todd. Yes, I love Thursday because, as you say, it is Friday Eve. But with Virtual Family Fun Day, we're always in store for something very cool and interesting. And I'm always learning something new, about what's here locally as well, abroad, because we have chatted with someone across that little pond of ours here on Earth. So before we jump into it, let me just remind everyone to take a minute to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell, leave a like, leave a comment. Yes, we will respond to all of that. And we need your help as our audience to spread the word about Up to the Minute. Share this podcast by clicking that button at the bottom of this podcast. That way it pops up on your personal news feed. So not only are we sharing this great information to those around us, but again, we like to grow our audience. So Todd, let's get into today's show.
So Brittany, we have over the COVID shutdown, which started March of 2020, we've had the Houston Children's Museum on a few times. In fact, I think we had them on the beginning. They were doing some online stuff, had a lot of online offerings. They reopened for a little while, if you remember. And I don't know if you remember, but they had to close down again. I believe it was last fall. Remember that?
I do remember that.
Okay, well, they're back on the show again because guess what? They have reopened again. So that's right. It's the summer. We're getting out there. We've got a couple of guests from the representing the Children's Museum of Houston. Leti Luna is with them. And also we've got Gilbert Garcia, the sponsor of Fun Summer Vibes. Good morning to you both. How are y'all?
Good morning.
Yeah, we're great, Todd. Thank you so much for having us. As we like to say around the museum, Children's Museum Houston is back.
It is back and better than ever. I know a lot of folks are excited on getting out there. What do you have to do to get out to the Houston Children's Museum? Well, we are going to talk with them in just a moment. So Gilbert and Leti, grab a cup of coffee. We'll be back with you shortly. Here on the show, we always like to highlight our HCC family, and today is no exception. We've had Martin Garsee on the show before. You may remember him. He is the Director of Transportation Training at the Automotive Center of Excellence at HCC Northeast. Good morning to you, Martin. How are you?
Good morning.
There we go. How's it going?
Oh, very good. We're extremely busy over on this side of town, and thanks for having us on again and highlighting our program.
Martin, I keep hearing a lot of things that are worrying me about this upcoming summer. And one of the things I'm hearing is because of COVID, a number of truck drivers opted to retire. And we could have a situation where we could have a shortage of fuel or other items because we don't have enough truck drivers or certified truck drivers on the road. Is that a situation that the country's still facing right now?
It is, Todd. Like you said, a lot of drivers decided that because of COVID, they left the industry. There's a couple of things that's happened inside the industry that's made changes. One's a drug and alcohol clearinghouse. While we perceive that as a good thing, their changes is always difficult, especially the trucking. The average truck driver is in his mid to 40s to mid 50s. Some obviously being much older. And so at certain points in their life, they say, okay, this is too much change. It's time. And of course, with COVID, people stayed home a lot and maybe got other priorities rather than going over the road and were able to retire. So we do see that.
Well, the good thing about that, though, is that means there's an open market for truck drivers out there. It's a demanding market. And I imagine if you get certified, it's not going to be a long time for you to find a job.
Absolutely not. We have people calling our office every day from small companies to the major companies, which actually send recruiters in every 4 to 5 weeks into our building and hire as many people that want to go to work for them and that's qualified. One of the interesting things is just last week, and we'll probably see more of it in the weeks to come, some of the major companies has announced the biggest pay increase ever for drivers, and that includes even the entry-level drivers. So they're doing what they can, offering bonuses, for people to sign on as new drivers. And I've been into college a little over 20 years in this department. And for the majority of the time, that person that had 2 to 3 years experience, that's where kind of the money was from the pay, but also, willing to pay a bonus for that experience and that type thing. But we're seeing it going down to the person coming right out of school. So that's exciting for our students.
What type of pay are we talking about when you do graduate from HCC's program? What can drivers expect to make in their first year or two?
Several companies now, and this does, let me, give a little parameter. This is an over-the-road company where a person is going to be out probably a week or so at a time, but they're announcing starting pay at anywhere from $55,000 to $65,000.
Wow.
And that's, obviously a person has to work and be out there, but it's probably $15,000 higher than it was 2 years ago.
That's amazing. That's an incredible jump in the last 2 years. Is it all pandemic related? Is that why there's such an increase?
The shortage, and I think that obviously, we could talk about how the supply chain has changed so much and how things, during COVID, we have more home deliveries. I was talking to a large company here. I don't know if we are allowed to mention companies or not on here, but a very large company everybody would know. And because they do so much what they're calling curbside delivery and that type of thing, they've increased the number of CDL drivers, not necessarily just big trucks, but CDL drivers by about 50% in the last 18 months. So that's a huge, and they're a very large company here in town. So it's amazing all the different changes. It seems like everything is leading toward, people needing that commercial driver's license, and that mobility and the movement of freight is so vital now. And we saw that in some of the shortages during the COVID.
If you didn't want to be a long haul truck driver where you're going for a week at a time, you could get a CDL from what you're mentioning and maybe go work for one of these big companies like an Amazon or a Walmart where you're delivering within the city, and that'll keep you pretty busy. Do those guys make pretty good money as well?
They do make good money. Pepsi just announced a large grant to colleges for technical training, and truck driving is included in that. The bottlers at Coca-Cola have reached out to us in the last few days. More and more of those companies where a person, will be home virtually every night. It's a little bit of loading and unloading, so it's a little bit more labor intensive, but it does pay well, and it is a job that a person can go to work. I remember several years ago, if you didn't have 5 years of experience, some of those companies like Coca-Cola wouldn't even look at you, and Walmart. And now they're looking at people with far less experience. So great opportunities.
Let's also talk about a new trend in the industry. I know there's one of the major pizza chains started delivering their pizzas in a little drone type vehicle, driverless vehicle. Is that going to be a trend we're going to see in the truck driving industry? It would make me feel very uneasy to be driving down the freeway and I see a large, truck next to me, and I look in there and there's no one driving. That would make me a little uneasy. Is that going to be changing anytime soon?
Well, I think the term anytime soon is probably relevant or relative to who you are. If you listen to some people in the industry, they say it's relatively quick. If you talk to people that are actually in that testing mode and work for companies that's developing that technology, they'll tell you that there'll be certain segments probably in 2035 and then after that, but it'll be very small segments. Yeah. Now, what I think we will see is what's called platooning, where you have a truck maybe with a driver and then a power unit and a trailer behind it that's controlled directly by that. That's being tested pretty widely with varying, with good success. Just one key thing: there's five levels of the autonomous truck. The lowest one being no technology at all, and number 5 being a driverless, let's say, truck. Right. 2 and 3 are getting a lot of play, and that's all the different electronics. The keeps it in the lane, alerts the automatic braking, and just on and on. A lot of things that we see in the high-end cars are now being put in trucks, and it does. And the great thing about it is it does make the truck a lot safer. It makes the driver more efficient. Right. But I use the word. I don't know what we're going to call them. If we're going to call them technicians or what are we going to call them? But my goal is to keep up with the trends and make sure that Houston Community College is training for whatever that next level is, because we see a driver in most trucks for as long as we're alive.
Right. And I imagine when this platooning thing becomes a big thing out there, HCC will be leading the pack in teaching our students how to operate that as well.
That's our goal, is to stay current with technology. And I have the good fortune of being connected to a couple of those people that are doing some testing right now. So hopefully we get in on the ground floor of that.
Martin, you guys have year-round enrollment, or do you have traditional semesters? Meaning, if someone's watching right now and they're like, you know what, I want to get into this, can I enroll now? Are you enrolling for the summer and fall? How does that work?
We have classes continuous. That's the good thing. The kind of the downside of what we're doing today is that our classes are full for the rest of the summer. Now, not everyone that signed up will actually show up, and other things happen in their lives. But since we came back from COVID, actually we came back in August of last year, we have been slammed with people. The interest is just through the roof. We have a long waiting list of people, and it's just it's a madhouse here. But we're working through that, and we run the programs continually. Hopefully in the fall, we'll be able to expand. Our vice chancellor and those are working with us to expand what we do because of the demand. So we're optimistic that we'll be able to service more and more people.
So folks, the key here is if you want to get into the truck driving industries, now's the time. They're paying more than ever, and HCC can get you trained and help you find a job. Martin Garsee, Director of Transportation Training at the Automotive Center of Excellence. Thanks for being here this morning.
Thank you. One quick statistic. In 23, they anticipate 105,000 openings. In 28, they anticipate 160,000 openings. And that's the latest from the American Trucking Association at a conference that I was at last week.
The jobs are out there, folks. If you want to get enrolled with them, we'll put the link in the social media post for our show. But
thank you, Todd.
Thanks, Martin. Thanks for being here. All right, we're going to move on to the Children's Museum of Houston. Yes, they have reopened again. They're back. If you want to get the kids out there this summer, now's the time to do so. We've got Leti, Luna, and Gilbert Garcia of the Children's Museum Houston joining us as our Thursday virtual Family Fun Day guest. Welcome back. And Leti, I guess it's got to be great to be reopened again and welcome the kids and the families back in.
Absolutely. I mean, it was 10 long months for us. We're used to having people here for spring break, for summer, and Children's Museum Houston's halls were way too silent. So now we are back and rolling and ready to see everyone at the museum again.
And Todd, if I could on that. Yeah, if I could on that, the kids needs these, they need this education. It's not just, we need that, but the kids need something. They need to be back. And so what we've learned is if you don't stimulate a child's mind young, you could lose them so early. And that's the mission of the Children's Museum Houston.
And Gilbert, you're one of the sponsors of the Children's Museum Houston, and you've got something that you're sponsoring with a summer theme, fun summer vibes. I've got to ask you, that's given me kind of a Jimmy Buffett little thing right there. Are you a Buffett fan?
Well, I am. If you look at Leti, she's got the Buffett shirt on. Now, I've got my official Children's Museum shirt on. Yeah. And I can tell you, the summer vibe thing, it really is a crescendo of the timing of COVID starting, we're starting to get on the other side of the virus. We need to get the kids back. So we came up with this idea. We have a whole new exhibit that's that's now open. But the most important thing is we have something every single day throughout the summer through September 3rd. And all you got to do is go to the website, cmmuseum.org, and you can see all the events. We had a big grand opening with one of the radio stations there, and we had Kona Ice, and it was just a blast. So it's a celebration of Houston and this iconic children's museum that's been around for 40 years.
40 years, and then we had some unprecedented happenings over the last year, Leti. I know led to some changes, and I'm really, even though COVID is starting to fade away, there still may be some parents out there who are like, well, I'm just not feeling 100% safe yet. You guys have some safety precautions in place for people who may not feel completely safe with taking off the masks, right?
Absolutely. So we are still requiring masks. We're following CDC guidelines for visitors who are 2 years of age and older. We know because the vaccine isn't available to our main patrons, this is the reason why we're continuing with that. But we also put in place some new air filtration in the building. So we made some investment there. We have more staff cleaning, so you will not miss, everyone that is working hard to keep everything disinfected. If anyone visited us during our summer last year, they noticed that we took away a lot of those components, and it's not the same. I mean, we are really much a hands-on experience. So this, with being able to bring more staff back to clean, this gives families that chance to get hands-on all over again.
If you're coming out to the museum, do you suggest, if you're not going on the free family nights, which we'll get to in a second, do you suggest buying tickets online before you arrive?
Absolutely. So we are encouraging families to plan early, check the website, see what events you want to, participate in, and then book your tickets online at cmhouston.org. We do have a few walk-up available. However, your best bet is to reserve early and make sure that you have that online.
And let's talk about the free family nights Thursdays. Those are happening. Is there one going on tonight?
Yes, today is our first free family night. So every Thursday from 5 to 8 p.m., the museum is absolutely free. So we are welcoming families back for this. We're so excited. But of course, because it's so popular, it's completely booked for tonight. So we definitely are encouraging families to go on our website and check the dates that are coming up.
Okay, Gilbert, so back to you. You guys are sponsoring the Fun Summer Vibes. You mentioned it's a tropical theme. It's a celebration of Houston, but you've got some special events coming up. Looks like some in July. You got some in August as well. You got Captain America heading out there, and cultural celebrations as well.
Yes, and we call it the Tropicool.
Tropicool.
It's a Tropicool for the summer. No, we're going to have things all summer long, especially we have, one of the world-renowned readers coming for Juneteenth to really read some very critical information, very important, very thought-provoking, very motivating. And as part of that day, we'll also have a DJ playing music. And so that's going to be one of our main special days throughout the summer, but it really is all summer long. And I think people should know, Todd, that when you go into the museum, the 13 exhibits that are there, these exhibits are put together by some of the most world-renowned scientists, biologists, children's psychologists. So these just aren't things to look at. They're carefully crafted to stimulate the minds of young kids. So it's just a brilliant, brilliant place.
And you guys also have something called a Good Vibes Daily Show?
Yes, the Good Vibes Show. It happens twice a day, and it's really led by our educators who were the stars of the show for us whenever we were closed. I mean, they took our virtual programming to the next level. So now we're just inviting families to actually see them in person now that they can come back and visit us.
New exhibits. What is it on? I know, is there an ongoing exhibit going on right now, something new that people may have not had a chance to see yet?
Yes, so that's Gilbert mentioned our Sights Unseen exhibit. And whenever you walk in, it's basically like this glow in the dark experience. But really what it's teaching children is about sight and light. So how do animals perceive things differently than us? And of course, as humans, whenever lights are dimmed or there's overexposure, how do we perceive what is in front of us?
And it's really amazing, Todd. When you first walk in, there's all these eyeballs of different animals. Uh-huh. And it's quite interesting to see the differences. And then as you peruse in and go to the different stations, there's things like, how does a mosquito perceive and sight versus a human being? Because the speed is so different. How does a snake see things? Because they are more nocturnal. I mean, it's quite fascinating. There's whole anatomy of an eye and eyeball. You cannot leave that without coming away just mesmerized by this extraordinary organ of an eye and the differences here on planet Earth of all the species of animals.
I imagine, Leti, you guys had to reimagine things during the COVID pandemic. We were all taught, don't touch this, don't touch that. And the Children's Museum's always been so interactive where the kids can go in and touch and see and feel. But you kind of had to reimagine things in this new world we're living in right now.
Absolutely. And of course, like at the very beginning, there were just so many unknowns. Yeah. And so the actual touching was something that we were, we weren't very sure how to still give that experience to families. So that's why we had taken away so many components. But now that we know so much more, we're able to bring those back and just have high, cleaning procedures. Actually, our power tower, if anyone's ever visited us, it's this like 40-foot, or I think it's like 4 stories high, and kids can crawl through it. Every 2 hours, we have someone that comes in with this special backpack that essentially sprays everything down, and it dries super quickly so kids can go back in and start playing again.
And Todd, you'll see a special tape on things that are high touch, like the door handles, things that you just automatically, into the restrooms where there's the hand to get the paper towels. There's all this tape around all the handles to really protect everyone. So they've done an amazing job during this whole pandemic.
Well, we congratulate you guys in getting back open. And Gilbert, thanks for all you do and sponsoring these nights and letting the museum do what they do best. And that's welcome the children and Houstonians. Thank you both for being here.
Well, thank you for having us. I'm a veteran, Todd. I've had 4 kids go through this museum over probably the last 25 or 30 years myself. So please go see us at the Children's Museum, Houston.
All right. We're going to have the link to the Children's Museum of Houston in our social media post for the show. Thank you both. Have a great day.
Thank you, Todd.
Bye, you too.
Thank you. All right. We're going to move on to Brittany with our HCC news and announcements. Brittany, exciting. The Children's Museum Houston back open again. Sounds like they got some cool stuff out there. And you might have to wear an Aloha shirt, Brittany.
That's one thing I do not have in my wardrobe. But hey,
come on.
I know. Listen, I'm sporting my football kit, and that's the European football right now. So yeah, I need to get that in my wardrobe. Sorry.
Somebody get her a shirt. Okay. All right. Yeah. So the Children's Museum Houston back open again. Great to have them on the show. Girl Power. What's that all about, Brittany?
Empowering girls to build a better future, Todd. So Brenda Rios, Brombacher. Thank you. I have a hard time with those last names. Excuse me. So Brenda and her entrepreneurial initiatives program at HCC Southeast have partnered with Verizon to offer middle school girls a free year-long STEM enrichment program. They'll learn design thinking, 3D printing, augmented reality, and social entrepreneurship. That's a very exciting opportunity, let me just say. So this is going on Saturdays in June from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And that will be June 14th to July 2nd. I almost said June 2nd. So once again, June 14th to July 2nd. So we'll put Brenda's email in the post after the show for more information, should you be interested in this great opportunity.
All right. One thing I know it's very special to Brittany is the HCC Foundation. Brittany, in order to get a grant or some scholarship money, you have to apply for it, and the deadline's coming up.
That's right. So as a HCC Foundation scholarship recipient, I was able to pay for my entire HCC career solely on scholarships, and they covered your tuition, your books. It was such a rewarding feeling knowing that someone who I never would meet believed in what I was going to do with school and then my career. So let the HCC Foundation help you pay for college. Just complete the online application for funding for all or part of tuition, fees, books by your scholarship. Let me just say it's a great opportunity. Do not miss out on it. The deadline is approaching fast. So that is Tuesday, June 15th. It's just right around the corner. So if you do have more questions and want to know about how to apply for an HCC Foundation scholarship, we'll put that link in the bio after this show.
Okay, here's something that's exciting. Make the perfect chocolate chip cookies and Chicken Maria through HCC's Culinary Arts program. and they're partnering with the India House in Southwest Houston. It's free culinary classes in June, July, and August. Okay, get your pen and pencils out, write this down, or we will have a link in the social media post for the show. But the perfect chocolate chip cookie by Chef Katie Rangel. She is a guest of, she's always been a guest on the show. She's a friend of the show. We love having her on here. She's having a class from 4 to 5 p.m. Wednesday, June 23rd. Perfect chocolate chip cookie. How can you go wrong with that? And then Chicken Maria by Chef Christy Sykes with the program. 4 to 5 p.m. Wednesday, July 21st. We'll have the links in the social media post for the show. And if you want to go to college and have all of your tuition, if not most of it, if not all of it, paid for, well, we've got fast track training here at HCC. It's a list of training programs that could get you in and out and into a high demand job fairly quickly. The jobs range from air conditioning to cybersecurity, from logistics to welding. They're all across the place. There's one website you can go to sign up for it. It's hccs.edu fast-track. Look for that in the social media post for the show. And free groceries are continuing, Brittany.
That's right. It's very, very important, of course, to have a fully stocked pantry. So registration for Houston food banks, community health market trailers is at multiple HCC campuses. All HCC community members can sign up to receive free groceries. Just pick the campus date and time you would like to pick up your food. You can email hcc.cares@hccs.edu for more information, and we'll put that email in the post after the show.
Okay, check out laptops and hotspots. If you're a student and you need a laptop or a hotspot, well, thanks to our HCC Public Service Librarians and the Rotaract Club, HC students may qualify for checking out laptops and hotspots for an unlimited amount of time. There's 2 different websites you can go to register for this. We'll have those in the post after the show. And registration is underway. Brittany, we've got several ways for people to learn, but the main thing is in-person classes are back in session.
That's right. So our summer classes have already begun, but fall registration is still underway as it is for those smaller summer semesters. So register now. That is absolute key. And we do offer 5 course options, including full-time face-to-face classes, as well as hybrid, but again, they'll be small. So once again, registration early or registering early is crucial. We still offer our online options, our online anytime, as well as online on a schedule. I mentioned about those hybrid courses. So we have our hybrid lab, which meets safely face-to-face on campus and virtually, and our hybrid course, which is the same idea, but those are our lecture classes. And once again, our in-person classes are safe face-to-face courses with traditional meeting patterns started this summer, but we are offering those options in fall. So remember, register early. I can't stress that enough, y'all. So check out our programs, all of our programs, by going to hccs.edu/now. And once again, register early. Just do it.
You know, another thing involving registration, later this morning, in fact, at noon today, we are going to have a live webcast on ABC 13's website. We're doing a partnership with them. We have a half-hour live webcast. Brittany will be there answering some questions in the background for you, along with several other HCC experts and employees. If you've got questions about financial aid, courses, how you can enroll at HCC, any type of questions, join us live. We'll put a link in the social media post of this show. It'll be live streamed on our Facebook page for Houston Community College District, and also abc13.com. It'll be live streamed on them. That's at noon today, half hour. Join us live, get your questions answered. Tomorrow on the show, HCC Faculty Advisor of the Future Teachers Association will be joining us to talk about teaching careers opportunities. And it's Film Friday, Brittany.
That's right. So we'll be joined by Josh Merwin, formerly of Channel 11, who has founded the Houston Sports Film Festival, which had its inaugural event last weekend. So we're going to be looking forward to hearing from him about how that went.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. So if you're a film student interested in the film program, check us out tomorrow. Once again, we'll see you at noon today, live on our Facebook page and ABC 13. Up to the Minute, though, returns tomorrow, 10 a.m. live. We'll see you then.